Hi everyone, I'm Candy Williamson with Creating a Sustainable You, and I'd like to welcome you to our Wellness Wednesday. Today our guest is Miranda McGovern with Studio M. So just a little housekeeping things. If there are any technical issues, we've got support and we'll pop back on, so be patient with us. Hopefully we don't have any. If you're watching the replay, please make sure to comment below and we will come back and answer your comments and follow up with you about that. Hi, Emily. Um, and also, if you'd like to invite friends who you think would benefit from listening to this conversation or information, feel free to do that and share us as well. So we are doing a giveaway. We talked about it last week. It's this wonderful intuitive planner. We're going to touch base on that at the end of our talk today, our interview. So Studio M, you've got a couple things going on. I think we'll just start with, where are you at as far as open during these times, since it's a little uncertain?
Yeah. Well, right now we're doing things online. So we have a couple different programs. We've got a Studio M VIP page, which is a Facebook page, and that's a closed group for workouts. And those are current clients that we are doing different types of workouts. There's a stretching workout. There's a Tabata, so it's an interval weight training type of workout. There's Pilates mat. So there's different types of workouts. There is a live workout every day, and then it is recorded and uploaded. So those are available for people. And then if you're just kind of want to check it out, there is a Facebook page. It's called Studio M Fit Friends. And it's kind of been dormant. It was a place for people to meet up and say, hey, let's take a walk at the park. My kids have practice going on. What's going on? It's kind of a meetup page for people. So we've kind of resurrected that and brought it back on, and there are smaller little tips on there. They're not full workouts, because again, anyone that is working out, I want to make sure that you're safe, and I give you modifications, and I kind of meet you where you're at. Some of us have injuries, so just really making sure that people are safe. All of the workouts I do give modifications for, but I like to just make sure that I'm having a one-on-one conversation with people if they're not current clients, so I know kind of where they are to give them modifications just to keep them safe.
And you know, Miranda,
Yeah.
you're just so wonderful with working with injuries. We've shared clients in that way. I love being able to refer people to you and the feedback that I get on how you take care of them, and your vast knowledge in working with the body and being able to do assessment and understanding. It's wonderful that you're taking that online and that you're able to help people from the comfort of their own home. And, you know, even if you have injuries, because a lot of people think, you know, if you can't meet in person, then is it really safe? And with your assessment skills and your experience, it's awesome that you've been able to continue to do this and help those folks. And can you tell us a little bit about like the equipment that somebody would need at their home to be able to do this?
Sure. And I just wanted to say thank you because, you know, a lot of people know me. I've been doing fitness and Chico for a really long time. And I like to tell people, you know, a lot of times they focus on like what they can't do and like, oh, well, I can't work out. Well, chances are there are things that you can do. And it's just a matter of finding those. And so, you know, I personally have had an injury. I had a labral tear in my hip for a long time. I did have it repaired after 12 years. But I personally had to find a lot of things that worked for me. So whether it's doing, you know, water, if you have a pool, I've got a pool workout. You can fill up water bottles at your house. You can put sugar in them. You can put sand. You know, there's really creative ways. Maybe have a yoga strap. You know, maybe you even have a strap that you use to tie stuff down on your car, like on a roof rack.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that to stretch with. I mean, there are lots of different things. Maybe you just have some rocks, like, or bricks in your yard. Like, we can grab them. There's a lot of body weight exercises too. So, you know, people have reached out to me and they've said, you know, hey, I'm struggling. Someone down in Oakland, someone that I've worked with, and she had to move down there and be with her family because of the situation. And she's like, I've put on weight and this has to stop. I just don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. And I said, great, let's do a Zoom call. Let's set it up. And what's great about Zoom is you can actually record the meeting that you're having. So that way she can go back and she can review what we've talked about and the exercises. So I record it and then I upload it to a private YouTube link. So she is the only one that has a link to it, so no one else can look at it. It's private. And then we talk about during our call or our meeting, if you will, the things that she can do and that she has available, whether it's bands, maybe she has a ball, maybe she just has a wall. We talk about that, and we design a program that works for her and that's at her level, and then maybe a little step above. So I'm like, okay, I want you to work on this for maybe the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then we set a schedule, like maybe she's going to do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then she's going to walk, or, whatever it is. And then we're going to check back in. And usually people need an accountability partner. So I'll usually text them either Sunday, Monday and say, okay, what's your workout schedule for the week? And then maybe Wednesday I'll check in and I'm like, how's it going? Are you sticking to it? And some people are like, oh gosh, I've been really bad. Or like, oh no, thanks for the text. I was just about to do my workout. So just depending where people are, I really try and meet them where they're at. And there are other people that are like on it. They don't need me checking in with them. So again, it depends on the person. And again, like I've been doing this for a while, so I try and sense what people need. And I also ask them too, straight out, like, hey, do you need a recommendation for a food app to log stuff in? Do you need a macro app? What are some things that would help you so you have the tools to be successful? And also changing things a little bit at a time. Life is really overwhelming right now. So trying to say, okay, the first thing we're going to do is let's just start with movement. Okay, we're going to move. We're going to walk. We're going to do some body weight. We're going to do some stretching. Where are they needing to start? And then adding on from there. So,
getting that foundational routine of just movement and also building that confidence in being able to take care of yourself with something as simple as going for a walk around the block. It's like the first step. And I love that you make these achievable goals for them and find out where they are to help set that goal and to keep them accountable. Because, sometimes it's this like, oh, I should go for a walk, but then you don't take that action until somebody else is there, checking up on you for it. So that's really great.
Making a plan, I think, is really important. And this gal, she's got rotator cuff tears in both arms. She's had some injuries, so she's got pins in her ankle. So, she does have some challenges, but there are a lot of things that she can do. And so we talked about, okay, what can you do? And what's also going to feel good, because I don't want her to do stuff where it's like, oh, well, I can do that, but then it hurts and then I can't walk, or,
that's not the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And no one's going to stick with that either.
Yeah.
And maybe it's starting with 20 minutes too. So we really focus on what can you do and also what's realistic. Is it realistic to say I'm going to commit to 5 days a week? Well, maybe for some people, but maybe not for other people that are homeschooling. And again, school's wrapping up. But again, what does your day look like? And then when can we schedule that in the day too? Do you need to get it done first thing in the morning because like your day can just get out of control? Or is it better that you schedule it at the end of the day? So looking at some of those things, and again, making them small things that are achievable. And that's part of just in general, getting overwhelmed by the news, getting overwhelmed by what's happening. Really trying to limit some of the social media intake too. Because all of a sudden, like an hour just went by like that. And you could have used that time to do a walk, to do something that would make you feel better than kind of the tension of the news and some things going on in social media.
And it's interesting because they do at least on iPhones, they have trackers. So you can actually see what your social media time is that you're spending on there. And I think that's just a great place to start. It's very informative of like, wow, am I really spending like 4 hours a day or 5 hours a day on social media since I'm unable to, go to the office? And so you can go, well, there's obviously time for me to get out and move. And if there's that much time, even a couple hours on social media a day can really take a toll on the mental aspect. But then it also, like you said, that's a great way to find time that isn't really productive, that you're kind of using, I think, as stress escape. A lot of people use social media as an escape from how they're feeling, even though it makes them feel worse. So you can switch gears and go do something positive, and you're there to help tell them how to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And I also try and make it like a positive, like something they look forward to. Like if it's their walk or their swim or, whatever it is, maybe there's a podcast that they love to listen to. Brené Brown has some great interviews. I kind of suggest, like, make that your treat. I know when I go for a walk, like I walk my dog, and sometimes it has to be late at night because it's hot, or it has to be early in the morning. But that's kind of my treat time. I'm like, ooh, I get to listen to this podcast and kind of forget about what's going on in the world, whether it's an interview or it's something inspirational. But, it's a great way to kind of treat yourself too. Maybe it's just something that you're interested in. Maybe it's about crafting. I don't know, but I really try and encourage people to do that. Or even if they're doing a workout, there's like some timer workouts. It's called a Tabata, so you use a timer for it. So I'm like, maybe you have a show that you love to binge watch. I'm like, turn on your show and do your Tabatas. Like, you don't have to think about it. The timer tells you what to do, and I give you the list of workouts. So make it kind of like your treat too. Other ways to reward yourself that are positive and make it enjoyable too. I find that people are much more compliant to do those things when you make it that way. So
yeah, when it's not a punishment or, oh, it's because I'm, overweight and there's this negative aspect. You go, no, it's because you want to take care of yourself and you want to feel good. And that feels better to think about than like, oh, I've really messed up and need to fix it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, they feel like they're punishing themselves. I mean, that's a whole kind of another topic, but like, okay, I have to go work out because I ate this or I did this or I was bad, or, and reframing some of those things too is like, I'm doing this because I care about my health. I care about my body. I want to be stronger. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and I need to feel strong and grounded for myself, for my family, for my business, for my job. Like, you could pick, some things about why, and kind of going back to those, like maybe you post that on your refrigerator, maybe it's in your phone, maybe it's where you get dressed in the morning, but just those reminders of like why you're doing this. A lot of times at the end of my classes, I will say, take a few minutes, close your eyes, and think about the good things that you just did for your body, because our bodies are incredible, and we're really asking a lot of them during these times of stress. And so a lot of the things that we can do to cut down on the stress and really feed our heart, feed our soul is really important. And I know that sounds kind of like mushy, but it's really true. Mm-hmm. And I think the more that people start looking at things that way, they're going to feel better. And it just makes your immune system stronger. It makes you stronger, whether it's COVID, whether it's the flu, but whatever's out there. Like, we really need to spend some time evaluating those things. And some things I think that have been positive about this is we have had more time for family. We have had more time where we're not running kids around, whether you have kids or not, or you're running from this meeting to that meeting. The stress of those things, yes, there's been other stress, but kind of reevaluating those things and realizing the time that you have spending at home with loved ones, with family, time to exercise, time to read, time to journal. Those are really important. And I've heard from a lot of people that this added time and those things that they've added in, like, they don't want to give those up. They've realized that those have been really important things that they haven't done, and that they want to continue doing them. So those are positive takeaways.
Yeah, those are some great takeaways. And hi, Dana. Thanks for joining. I know there's so many people out there who are talking about this topic right now because it's so prevalent. People are getting time to sit and realize that their life is different, and that maybe this was stressful, but there's some positive changes, like what you're saying, of wanting to have more time, wanting to maybe get outside more since they have been and maybe they weren't beforehand. So this journal that we're going to be giving away is a great thing that you can use, because also, during this time when everything is different, and it will continue to be different, whatever the new normal looks like, and wanting to write down, you can write down, what's your intention? Like, what is it that you want to be doing, and keeping track of those things, and, what actions do you want to do to keep that? Because when life changes like this and you find yourself with a different schedule, and you get to make a different schedule, sometimes we just fall into it. And then we fall into the things that we enjoy. But when things go back or change again, we can fall away from the things that we like. So, when you find that priority in self-care, whether it's fitness and exercise, eating, hanging out with your family, getting outside, writing down that intention to keep that and making it a conscious plan to keep that active in your life because you can feel the benefits of it is really important. Because if you don't make it a conscious, intentional action or thought, then it kind of drifts away. Like people are like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to start exercising for 10 years now, or oh yeah, I've been wanting to eat better for the last 5 years. And so when you sit down, you go, this is really important to me. I feel better and I'm happier when I do this. My body feels better when I exercise. My body feels better when I move it and stretch and take care of it. My mind feels better when I get outside. To prioritize that so that as things come and change, you keep that habit and that priority of self-care. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I know that you guys are offering some meditation. I personally don't offer meditation, but that is something that I recommend for people. There's a lot of great apps out there too. There's a great book called 10% Happier. It's a really good place to start. Great interview. That's one of the podcasts I love to listen to when I walk. And I think those are great places to start too. So I personally try and walk the talk. And I talk a lot about the things that I'm doing. And, again, it's not like, oh, well, I'm doing that. It's more like, hey, maybe you'd be interested in doing this too. So I share a lot of that kind of in my VIP group. I talk about that in some of my classes. But I always offer a complimentary consultation too, whether obviously it's not live in my studio, but I will do that on FaceTime, on Zoom. If people are interested, just to talk to me or find out, I've always been interested in Pilates. What is Pilates about? There is Pilates mat, and that's primarily what I'm doing in a lot of the classes just because, that's easy to do at home. Basically, you need a mat and yourself, maybe some hand weights, or again, like I talked about, filling up water bottles with sugar or salt or something that you can use, but just things around your house.
And some of the most fit, healthy people in their late 80s that I've met do mat Pilates regularly. It's such a sustainable thing for whether you have injuries or whether you lack in mobility or strength. I mean, it's such a safe place to start and such a sustainable way to bring your body into alignment and to feel strong and healthy. So it's pretty incredible. If you haven't experienced Pilates before, it can really be a game changer, especially if you're used to doing really intense workouts and you continue to hurt yourself over and over again. I don't think people realize how much strength you can get from Pilates and doing it on the mat without a lot of props. Our bodies are incredible, and with the right instructor, it's amazing to see what your body can achieve.
So very true. And the other part of it too that not everybody talks about is if you do have a pelvic floor issues, so you have incontinence, and that's stress incontinence, which is laughing, coughing, sneezing, jumping. Pilates can really help with that without having surgery. So there's very specific exercises. So I do a lot of work with people one-on-one over Zoom and things like that. Because sometimes it is a more personal or private thing. They don't want to discuss that, because it can be embarrassing, but it does happen to a lot of people. And
it's really common, especially with women after childbirth, and it's not talked about enough. So I think people find that they're alone when the pelvic floor, and a lot of people don't realize that with that incontinence and that instability in the pelvic floor, that it actually creates a lot of other pains. So people who have chronic back pain, hip pain, things like that, and they don't realize that it actually comes from a weak pelvic floor. And so if you have those pains and you have incontinence, they're typically not separate issues. So
I have a support group for that too. So it is Chico, and you can put it in the show notes too. It's a Facebook page for that, and that's a closed group. So there is a doctor in town, Dr. Greg Davis, who is a urogynecologist. So he kind of helps out if people do need to go get evaluated. He's someone that I work with too. So there's this specific set of exercises that really work that are based on Pilates exercises. So, if that is something too that you're realizing that you need some help with, there's a lot of resources out there too. So I offer those classes and those consultations too. But, again, that's part of and I've even had men too. It does happen for men that have prostate issues too. Just to let you know that it is not just women. So there are a lot of things that are very helpful. So say, and I was kind of leading back to this, you just start walking and you realize my bladder, I'm having some issues here. Or you just started running because you can't go to the gym. Okay, well, there are some things that you can definitely do to help strengthen your pelvic floor and to work on those without surgery. So always an option. So the stretching, there's many benefits of Pilates.
Oh, yeah. So, and I think it's a great use in conjunction with physical therapy and post-physical therapy. If you have an injury that's acting up, it's a nice place to also, a lot of the exercises and things you do are very rehabilitative as well. So, people are always cautious if they have an injury about what exercise is safe for them, and Pilates is a great place to start.
Definitely. And talking about it too. I am very, I really like to have that one-on-one with people. So that way I'm aware what's going on with their body. So if I see they pop into a live class, I'm like, oh, Susan's on. Okay, I better remind Susan of her, and I don't have to say Susan, but I can say, remember, this is the modification if you have X, Y, Z. No twisting if you have a back sensitivity. If you don't, definitely do this. But here's the layer. And that's what's great about Pilates too, is there's always a modification to make it harder, to make it easier. So you can progress and you can regress. And so I kind of encapsulate that into all the classes too. So that way, people get a challenging workout no matter where they are too. So
that's wonderful. Kind of that way. So fun. So okay. So I was going to talk a little bit about, you had mentioned some of your social media contacts, and if you joined us a little bit late, please watch the replay. And also feel free to comment below at any time, because we will come back and respond to any of the comments that you make now or in the future. So Miranda, you have your social media, Studio M Fit Friends Facebook page, and do you want to talk about the other ways to contact you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, where I'm on Studio M Chico. I do have Studio M VIP too on Instagram. Sometimes I'll do little video clips there. You can reach out with email too. I'm trainermom1@gmail.com. So I've had that email for forever. And you can put in the notes my phone number, but again, you can also just Google Studio M Chico too, and you'll get my website. There is a lot of information there. You may even, there's information about some other work that I do that I'm not doing right now. Tuning forks, some people might remember hearing about that. The card with the lines, where I do some live in studio therapy work. And since I'm not doing that right now, I'm kind of doing a lot of these other modalities and stretching and working on other programs that are going to be helpful for people where I can't do kind of this neuromuscular reprogramming. So some of you might be familiar with those things and me. But otherwise, you can reach out to me pretty much any way. On the Facebook page, there's Messenger, if you want to comment on this video. But again, I'm happy to do any type of consultation too. That is remote at this time, since that's kind of where we are with things. And it really is amazing, like I was saying, what you can do over Zoom. I think that, we've found a challenge, and I didn't realize how much I could really do over Zoom, because I was so used to doing things in person. But you really can, really help people, and you can see a lot when you're used to looking at biomechanics and how people move by just having somebody walk and looking at what they're doing. And even just coaching them on form too. So lots of tools out there, and even just FaceTime. So lots of ways to reach out and connect.
And so we just want to also say, if you are looking to start your fitness journey, if you are feeling that you're needing some support in this, even though maybe you can't meet in person, virtually is a great option, and it also doesn't mean you'll never get to meet Miranda in person either. At some point, we will be opening back up and, being able to see in-person services. So it's kind of a nice way to establish a relationship and getting to know one another, so that when it does come time, if you do need to come in for the P-DTR or the neurokinetic therapy, which is really fabulous work, especially with injuries and pattern reprogramming, it's very complementary to the work that she does. And so having her be able to assess you virtually and work with you that way is a great way to kind of establish rapport. And when things do open up, if that is necessary, it's kind of nice to not have to go and start fresh, to already have somebody who's familiar with you. So just putting that out there.
And you've got nothing to lose with a complimentary consultation. If nothing else, it might give you a starting point and some things to think about, that you hadn't thought about before, and just some places to get started. Just like that journal, I love that, because even just writing things down too, you're committing it. You're making a commitment on paper, a commitment to yourself, and I think a lot of those things are very powerful.
And then, so we did want to share, because last week we shared that we were going to be giving away one of these journals, and there were a couple things came up, so we're not giving one away today, which means you get more opportunities to enter in and get this journal. So I wanted to share with you about some programs we have coming up. We are offering a 3-month Miracle Morning, Motivational Monday, starting with the Miracle Morning book, which is a way to develop healthy habits. And so part of that includes silence, and there's a lot of different options in silence. You can do meditation. We'll be teaching things like that. If you're not interested in meditation, there's prayer, there's silent contemplation. So there's a lot of options of finding what the right fit for you and your habit is. So
that sounds like a fabulous program.
I know, I'm so excited. So it's 3 months, because it takes you around 3 months to really establish a habit. In a few weeks you change and you experience something and it's great. In a couple months you're really experiencing the benefits of it. And after around 3 months, you have completely changed that habit. It is part of who you are. And it's a good foundation for whatever changes you want to make in your life. And part of that is actually exercise. So if you're interested, please enter, comment, and share below. You can be entered to win one of these. We also include these in with that program. And if you're looking for support and guidance into how to get unstuck, how to make a habit, how to feel healthier, how to overcome all the negative chatter that goes on in there when times are really stressful. This program includes a Facebook group, it includes one-on-one consultation, it includes a lot of exercises and things for you to start getting to know what's going on and actively shifting and moving forward and getting out of your stuckness. So we want to thank everybody for joining us for our Wellness Wednesday.
And
Miranda.
That journal, do you have them available for sale? Like, say somebody saw this, they don't win it, but they would like a journal. Do you have them available?
Yes, so we have these for sale. They're $15. You can call and order them. We can do curbside pickup. I can mail them to you. So they are available. You can comment below on here and we'll get back to you for that as well, or you can send us a message via Messenger. And thank you so much for being on, Miranda. This was really lovely. And
thank you for having me. And again, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the kind words too. I think you guys do an amazing job, and I hope that your school gets up and running again, because I know that so many people really need massage. They need that touch. They're going to need us. I know as healers, as people that hold space for people, the world just really needs it right now. So whatever we can do virtually, we're going to do what we can. But I just really appreciate this. And anybody, again, if you are having a financial hardship too, please, I will work with anyone. I understand what's going on. And part of my mission is just to help people move forward too. So
wonderful. Well,
Right.
thank you everybody for tuning in. And again, if you're watching the replay, feel free to share, comment below, and invite anybody who you think would benefit from these programs. Our past programs are available to see who our previous speakers were. We had a nutrition summit. We've had Dr. Shane Smith chiropractic on. We're going to Dr. Emily Hartman. And we have more exciting speakers coming up. So tune in next week for our Wellness Wednesday and have a wonderful day. Bye, Dina. Bye, Kelly. Thanks, Emily.